Hello BookTube! Today is day 3 of the Strike Back Videothon and we're here to talk about our favourite fantasy reads. This is going to be a long one. I have a lot of favourite reads. One of my very early love of a fantasy world was probably similar to a lot of people, and that was Alice in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. I not only love Alice in Wonderland, I love that whole world. I have loved the Disney movie when I was a little kid. I've, obviously read the books over and over and again. I love this world so much. Anything that comes out that's got an Alice theme to it, I'm there. I love it. Even to the point where many years ago, America McGee made a video game that was America McGee's Alice, and it was after Alice had been in an insane asylum, and because Wonderland is a reflection of Alice's mental state, I guess, it was all kind of tripped out and psychedelically nightmarish. It was wonderful. So yeah, one of my all-time favourite worlds is the Alice in Wonderland world. I've already mentioned this author and this world in my BookTube newbie tag. I read this book when I was in high school. Now, Threshold by Sarah Douglas. It's set in a Egyptian style world, hence the pyramid. I think I said that last time. It had to do with prime numbers, and there was magic involved in this amazing world. She then went on to do some other books and then tied that world to her Threshold world in the Dark Glass Mountain trilogy that brought together the descendants of the original couple in the first book many years on. An amazing world where there are Stargate style portals between worlds. There are angels that have had their wings cut off. There is betrayal, and just the opening scene of this one is amazing, where the girl is actually trapped in a plague house and she's the only person left alive in the house, and she's only a very young girl and she doesn't even have the energy to climb the stairs when the town sets her house on fire and someone comes in and rescues her. An amazingly invoking writing style and just a wonderful fantasy world. And I'm sure this will come as no surprise to people. My next fantasy world and read is the Disc world. The Greater Tun has captured my heart. That Sir Terry Pratchett has a serious amount of bookshelf space in my library and my shelves I have in my lounge room as well. I have been collecting the signature editions for quite a while now, and they make a beautiful piece of bookshelf porn, for lack of a better way to put it. My favourite 2 characters are Susan Death, the granddaughter of Death. Yep, you heard right, Death has a granddaughter. The wizard Rincewind, with his fateful luggage. The worlds that Terry Pratchett creates are just so funny, detailed, and really kind of taking the piss out of the real world itself as well. And I use the word taking the piss on purpose because they have the counterweight continent, which is where I live in the real world, which is also called XXXX, which is a type of beer we have, where all of the people are incredibly rich because we have so much gold. Again, I love the sense of humour about this. I love, especially in these books where they're fighting a race of people who can imagine their dragons. So once the people imagine their dragons, they are able to fly these imaginary dragons. And they have to run around in the rookery of the dragon place upside down, hooking on to different loops done in the ceiling. And that's just a straight piss take of the Dragon Riders of Pern series. He doesn't take anything seriously, and that's what I love about it and always have. Next one, and this is actually something that I think I love the book and the movie equally, because both of them have been so well treated, and that's Howl's Moving Castle. It was obviously, I watched the movie a very long time before I ever read the book. It was interesting to see how the two very different, the Western and the Japanese perspective on the Second World War and how they treated it. Because within the book, because Diana Winnie Jones is English, the war itself was very much dislocated from her actual life. Whereas Hayao Miyazaki, it was very much part of his life. He was there with the bombings. He would have seen the destruction. The two perspectives around the same story I find incredibly gut-wrenchingly visceral, even though in the book it's the absence of it, and in the movie it's the presence of it, but it has the same evocation, so the evoking of the same sort of feelings. I love Sophie. I've got to finish this. This is another one I've got to finish, the third book in the series, because yes, it is a 3-book series. Overall themes of this is just beautiful. The true love theme, the you can do anything if you put your mind to it style theme, and I always love Calcifer. Another one that I have discovered not entirely recently, but definitely not as long ago as the Discworld series, is the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. This series, I love it for its very familiar feel to the style of world that's being created. It has that, oh, you're secretly royal, the, you know, long lost redeeming qualities of love, but it's also got a bit of a role reversal, gender reversal when it comes to this first book especially, where she has been rescued by the prince but really isn't going to fall head over heels instantly for the prince, and the prince and his head of his royal guard are the ones that are doing the normal girly trope of, oh, does she love me, does she not? And Selena in this one, her name in this one is Selena, she's going, yeah, that's great, but there's demons attacking us over there, so I'm gonna go and sort that out. How about that, hey? I'm a dog person, obviously, so she's got a good dog in there. I think this one might come up on a lot of people's favourite fantasies. I actually really do like it, and I've recently got this version which has these awesome Art Nouveau French style prints in the front. Look, and they're just, I know most people have this, but it's just so pretty. It might be a bit cliche, but I kind of liked the, oh no, brother and sister love entanglement that happened in this. I also really, really like the idea that you can make your body or your actions more potent and powerful by drawing on it. It really does bring a new idea to the whole thing about tattoos and modern society and what they're doing. This next one has a very special place in my heart. I will literally buy anything that Lani Taylor brings out from now on, because I got recommended this book and put it off. I ended up reading it while I was at Disney World. Now, I'm Australian. It takes more than 24 hours to fly to Miami. I had one stretch of 10 hours, one stretch of 16 hours on a plane. It was totally worth it to go to Disney World. While I was there, if you've ever been there, if you're staying on Disney World resort site, you go everywhere on the free buses. It takes an inordinately long time to get through the lines to get onto rides. So I had my trusty Kindle with me and I was reading this book and the following subsequent books as well. I think I ate through the 3 books within the 6 or 7 days we were there. It was amazing. I was suckered in. I was trying to guess which way the relationship was actually going to be. I thought she was a reincarnate or a daughter or something. And I don't usually do angels and demons, but I love the idea that they weren't actually angels and demons. It was just the human earth perspective of what they're doing. I'm gonna read her next book. I bought it and I haven't read it yet. Lastly is a book that I am completely and utterly in love with. I randomly picked it up at the library with knowing absolutely nothing about it. And that is The Night Circus. This is my yardstick for whether a book is a 5-star book, because 4 or 5 years ago I read this and it is still as fresh as anything in my mind. I absolutely love it. Every 6 months or so I go and see if Erin Morgenstein has written anything else, because I need something else. I can't believe this is a single standalone. I need more. Please write more. What can I say? The imagery, the idea, the magical duel that's going on between them, the betting that's going on between the older magicians, and the clockwork, the clock. Oh my God, the clock. I want the clock. If you've read it, you know what I mean. So this is my yardstick for every other book I read. Obviously there are more. These are the books I've got on hand. I could list a dozen, but I'm really terrible at remembering things off the top of my head. If you like any of these and they're also your favorites, hit me up with a comment below. I'm loving this Strike Back videoathon because I'm discovering so many new small booktubers and I'm trying to watch as many as possible. So please link your one down below for this tag or any other tags you feel like. I am absolutely adoring all of these videos coming out, especially since I'm still on holiday, Slack teacher, and I will see you again soon. Thank you very much.